Greetings, I'm Suzanne 𝗘𝗲𝗏𝗆. Welcome back to my channel and to this video, which is part 4 of a four-part series. What if you, with your bare hands, your open heart, your grounded in the here and now stance, and a simple meditation technique could help a beloved person or pet with cancer? What if it was simple and easy to learn? I'll be reading and commenting on my book, There is Another Way, Energy Medicine for Pets with Cancer. I wrote it back in 2016. As I read it, I'll update you on what I've learned since then, which is quite a bit. So in this video, I'll be reading Chapter 7, which is Common Mistakes and Myths. And then I'll read Chapter 8, which is Reasons Why People Stop. Usually people stop. When they stop short of what they could have very easily done if they'd just known a few things. And then Chapter 9, which describes your next steps. If you haven't watched the first 3 videos, watch them before you watch this one so that it will make sense. Okay? And please comment. Let's have a dialogue. And like the video, subscribe, hit that bell. Thanks for supporting me as I support you taking care of your loved one with cancer. All right, let us proceed. Okay. Chapter 7, Common Mistakes and Myths. If you've read this far, you have the right motivation to learn this technique. There are hundreds of little tweaks that take place with your first few cancer cures. When I was first learning, every session had several aha moments as I got it. I want that for you too, and I don't think I can teach it to you in a book. Sorry. Some of it is so subtle that there needs to be an energetic attunement in order to learn it. Some of it is clarification of language. When we speak one-on-one or with a group, we understand better. Here are some common, now if you're already if you already know the Bengston Method, if you already know Reiki or healing touch or I don't know, prayer or some of these things, if you're already sort of energetic therapy inclined, you're going to learn much faster and get what you need. So let me talk about the common mistakes as we go through the coaching. 1, magical thinking versus careful observation of the 4 levels: physical, life force, emotional, and spiritual. Your pet is too old. This has been documented to cure cancer and otherwise incurable cancer mice, but it doesn't help them live past their normal lifespan. So, and I have lots of ideas about that, but we'll talk about that another time. Okay, another mistake: confusing emotional flatness with objectivity and clear thinking. We discuss how not to lose our head when we turn on our heart, and vice versa. You can engage your heart, and I think you should. And it doesn't make you stop thinking to have your heart turned on. Okay, it really doesn't. It's actually intelligent. Okay, treating the cancer instead of the whole animal. You will learn about Sam, a dog who should have been dead long ago, but is living healthy with a touch of cancer. It happens with people too a lot. They don't completely cure, but they just seem to be plugging along, doing fine for quite some time after they should have been gone. A pet with chemo radiation. You learn how not to interfere with it if they're undergoing it, and what to expect and what not to expect. Basically, since I read this book, I've got a lot more experience working with people and animals who've had chemo and radiation. And I now think that it's not at all about the chemo and radiation. It's just one of the many factors that can that go into the pile of what you're dealing with and what might affect the response. There's things that go beyond all of that. Thinking you're a channel for divine love. You can think it, just don't confuse that with healing. Okay, the person or your animal needs to be the channel. It's a link between them and their source that needs to happen, and you don't have to be the mediator. In fact, it helps if you're not, because it's more direct and it works better. Or
your pet is on the brink of death. I've had like many people bring me their dear dog like the day before they died. It just seems like if you're already there, we need to just, we can still do it, but it's more a comforting measure and a midwifery into the next dimension rather than a cure. So Lady, a border collie, died from cancer 2 days after I met her. Tremendous meaning came from this. I have some ideas on how to save an animal in such a situation, but I haven't had the resources to do it. Maybe together we'll create what is needed for those situations. Basically, I think if a team of healers did round-the-clock energy work, something could be done if the animal was otherwise young and in good, health. But so far I haven't had that resource. So if you have that resource, let me know and we'll get together and save a dog's life. That'll be great. Or horse or a cat. Let's see. Okay. Too much regimentation. Cancer learns its way around just about anything. You have to keep this changing. I learned this from my shamanic work. For many years as an acupuncturist and as a sound healer and as a shaman, I would work shamanically with cancer, and I feel like it made people feel better, but the cancer marched on. In contrast to what I'm teaching here and what I teach you when I coach you one-on-one, that I actually feel like you get some traction. It's actually doing something. So you get a little step-by-step program, and this is a little bit step-by-step-y, but hopefully it's free-floating enough. It's like the second you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, cancer figures out how to do it. From a biochemical standpoint, I think there's like at least 12 ways that cancer invades the body. So it's not just one mechanism. So if one doesn't work, it finds another way. It's rather innovative and aggressive. Okay, another mistake is hating the cancer or loving the cancer. So detachment works better. And I teach you what to do with your hate or with your love so it doesn't interfere with your healing. The next is avoiding the physical, nutritional, and life force levels. Sometimes the spiritual healing works by giving you the idea to change the diet or some other physical-like thing. Sometimes money or time or resources open up. It's important to act on the inspiration you get. I've had so many, I call them mini miracles, where just things opened up for people and suddenly they were able to get treatment that was able to really help them, or just do stuff, or some person that was opposed to this suddenly became their main helper so that they could do it as frequently as it needed to be done. So all sorts of mini miracles can happen. Fasting and or dehydration inhibit this method of energy healing. So I love fasting, okay? At the time I wrote this, I didn't know much about it, but it's all the rage, and so I've educated myself a lot about fasting for weight loss and for cancer. And what the deal is that if I've had somebody on the table and their tumor wasn't responding, I would just have them eat something, and within 10 minutes, they were responding again. So if you're going to fast, but on your eating days, that's probably a really great day to do your energy work. And same thing with your animal. If they're so sick that they're not eating, try to get them to eat just a little tiny bit. Lick some butter off your finger. Drink something that has a few calories in it that might stimulate the healing. Okay, or just go with it and let animals have this wisdom, right, of what to do if they're not eating. Maybe they're doing 𝗘𝗲𝗿𝗆 and actually healing themselves. And so I would still treat if somebody's fasting and you have the chance, but just be aware that might be a factor. Okay. Perfection paralysis. Take advantage of a beginner's luck and let me help you get started. Once you're cooling down the tumor, your confidence to proceed will grow. Don't wait for confidence to get started. That's putting the cart before the horse. Okay, so I'm really loving my coaching method because if you're a beginner, you really don't think you know what you're doing, which makes you wonderfully detached. but you don't have any experience, so you don't know what to look for, you don't know how to respond to things, you don't know if you're doing it right. So that's where I come in. In some ways it's easier for you to detach than me, because I know so much. But since I know so much, I can guide you and say, yeah, that's something that means it's working. And together, it's just a really powerful combo, because you get the beginner's luck and you get the experience. It's very powerful. Okay. All right, the next common myth is feeling that you have to be holy or enlightened or morally pure to cure cancer in your pet. It's best just to be yourself, warts and all. Okay. First time I witnessed or participated with a cancer that, 4-stage cancer that went away, was I just felt like, oh, did I break a rule? And believe me, I've gotten over that. But it was like, isn't it supposed to be hard? Like, don't I need to go on a hero's journey? In retrospect, there was a hero's journey, but it wasn't looking like what I thought it would look like. Okay, insisting on treating an animal that doesn't like it. I can help you tweak your technique so you're not inadvertently forcing it upon your pet. If your pet doesn't want the healing, it won't work to insist. Or it works a little tiny bit. It makes them feel a little better. All right. And what I've learned since I wrote this book is a species-appropriate way to connect. So cats don't like to be treated like dogs. Dogs don't like to be treated like cats. It works better not to treat any animal like a human, because they're so different from us. They love us so much. They're there for us. They love us. They have their individuality. They have their personalities. They have their sovereignty. But they're very different creatures than us. So they're not just like short, furry people. Okay. All right. All right. So that was chapter 7 of There's Another Way, Energy Medicine for Pets with Cancer. And this is Suzanne 𝗘𝗏𝗏 reading my book. This is chapter 8, Reasons Why People Stop. So, good reasons to stop treating. The best reason to stop treating your animal friend is if they are not receiving the treatments. There's no sense of flow. They don't eat better, drink better, or sleep better. Their tumor doesn't cool down. The nothing you feel when you treat is really just that, with no sense that anything is happening at all. This could be an issue with your technique, so get support if you don't want to give up. Another really good reason is if they are actively dying. There's an unconscious wisdom and order to the dying process. An animal's body knows how to die. So do a people's body. It's best to go with the dying process rather than against it. It can be very beautiful. You can prolong their suffering if you're busy trying to get them to live. My method does not work if the animal is past their normal lifespan. It seems to go right up to that, though. I can support you and them with my animal communication skills and distance healing to help them through the transition. Sometimes your pet may respond well to many treatments a day, more than you can comfortably give. A little sacrifice for your beloved companion is good, but you have to draw a line somewhere. Get help or let go of it if it's just too much for you. If this is you, before you give up, I hope we talk, as I may be able to help you be just as effective without it taking so much time. So I have some ideas of group healing and like round-the-clock healers. Some African healing communities have done things like that, where they just keep blasting somebody with the healing intention all day long and all night long for days, and it just seems to keep going. That's more than one person can do. And I like to think that if it's my animal, what I have to give it is what I have to give it, and it's good enough. In fact, that's kind of an okay way to put into our whole life. What we have to give it is what we have to give it. And if we can give it
That's the point of life. It's not to get out alive or to, check off some box or something. All right. Even if the box is really fun. Okay, like life. Okay, the other reasons. So these are not so good. Then there are some other reasons people use to stop, but have nothing to do with the treatment not working. Lack of confidence. No one is confident their first or even second cancer cure. I can support you through this. Lack of belief. This one surprises me as a reason people quit, because I encourage people not to believe in it. Belief is not required, none at all. If you believed that this would work, if you really hunkered down and tried to get aligned with it and it just isn't working, I would say, good, belief is not working. Now you're ready to let go of belief and do the next step, which is more likely to work. Simply, carefully observe. Keep belief and disbelief in a separate compartment from your work with your animal. You do need to keep your head in the game with interest. You do need to keep your curiosity alive so you can observe how your pet responds. That is not the same thing as psychically aligning with the method. You won't be able to tweak your technique if you believe you are doing it already. It's okay to believe in a possibility that you want to invite into your reality. But when the possibility starts getting close, its form shifts, and you can miss what is right under your nose if you're busy believing your original assumption. Keep it simple. Do not believe, just observe. Peer pressure, especially from family. One of the reasons I like teaching pet owners is there's a lot less pressure from families to use chemo or radiation. It's often easier to simply follow your intuition and do what feels important and right to you, no matter what others think. And again, I'm not opposed to chemoradiation. It just seems to take the response down a notch. So I think there needs to be a really good reason to do that. Okay, philosophic pressure. So this is pioneering work. It's not mainstream, to say the least. The paradigm around cancer is shifting, and there is a lot of resistance. You wouldn't be human if you didn't experience some of our culture's limitations inside you. Another one, it's taking too long. So my hamster Georgette was cured in about 5-minute sessions a week. It took about 2 weeks to go from lying still, almost dead in her cage, to full activity. It took another month for her hair to grow back where she had lost it, and for the tumor to resolve. She seemed fine, so I didn't treat her as much at all that second month. It seemed like once it turned, she was good to go. See my YouTube video, Hamster Healed with Energy Medicine, that documented her cure. The dogs and cats I have worked with took much longer. Months of daily 5 to 15-minute sessions by their owners. It's not really about the size of the animal, though that may be part of it. A larger animal could get better very quickly or take months and months. A pet, or there's some other ideas that, it's like the lifespan. If your lifespan's 90 years, it'll take you longer to get better than if your lifespan's 2 years. Like the lifespan for your species. So like mice might get better faster than people. These are just like ideas. Okay, if your pet is robustly responding to the sessions, I would encourage you to keep going. It doesn't hurt, it might save their life, and you spend some quality time with them. And from talking to my human patients, if they are robustly responding with a nice tumor cool down, with this sense of peace that overcomes them, that's a nice thing to give anybody, no matter if they're cured or not. So much of my work is just about giving care to cancer, to people and pets with cancer. Like just let go of the, of course, desire to cure them, and just take care of them, and let there's an element of surrender in there that's very helpful. Okay, fear of failure. Sometimes we don't give something out. Sometimes we don't give something our all because it's our last resource and we feel we can't cope if it doesn't work, and we're faced with the fact that we have done everything we know. So get support if you're afraid of failure and that's keeping you from doing it. The other one is fear of success, and sometimes we have both of these at the same time. If this does work, if your pet does cure their cancer with your help, what does that mean for you?
You will still be yourself. You will still have loads of human issues to work through. You won't be walking on water. You will not be enlightened. You will, or not because of this, you will probably be super relieved and happy, and you might also experience a host of other emotions. When I participated with my first cure, it rocked my inner world. As much as I wanted it, I felt I had broken some rule that said it's impossible to cure cancer. I had to come to terms with this fact that what had happened really happened. I had followed Bill Bengston's instructions, got some coaching, and the cancer went away. I had to work through its meaning in my life. I'm still doing that. You will, and do it in your way. I am here if you need help. And I must say it did change me to help people in this way. This is not, it's just really hard to not do this when you know how to do it. At least it's been that way for me. Chapter 9, your next step. At this point, you have probably lots of questions. Rather than describing my constantly evolving programs, I would like to invite you to have a conversation with me to decide how best to proceed. We can discuss what class, recording, book, energetically charged cotton, online group video class, one-on-one video sessions, and distance healing options would suit your situation. Simply email me at info@spiritgate.com saying that you read this book and want help with your pet or person. My office will send you a link to my online scheduler. There is no charge for this 10 to 15 minute get acquainted call. I want to make sure you are in the right place before you join one of my programs. You can also email and request website links that describe my current programs. You can also go to spiritgate.com, and it's all over that website now. It would be my honor and pleasure to help you help your animal friend. Okay, about the author. Suzanne 𝗘𝗲𝗿𝗆, that's me, is a pioneer in holistic healthcare. Her 35-year career, it's now over 40, includes being licensed acupuncturist, a registered dietitian nutritionist, an herbalist, and medical intuitive. I was going to say, what happened to Accutonics? She has 4 years graduate training in neurophysiology and is former senior faculty of the Accutonics Institute of Integrative Medicine. She was personally and extensively mentored by William Bengston, PhD, in his healing method, which I should say was a lot more than learning how to cycle. It was a lot more. It was how to manage a naturally healing tumor. And that's, I feel like, yeah, you can kind of learn how to cycle with a recording, but how to manage a tumor, that takes some guidance from somebody else, which I can now give you. She has developed her own style of teaching pet owners to work with their pets with cancer. She combines distance healing with coaching pet owners to do a simple energy medicine technique to comfort and extend the life of their beloved animal friend. She sees human patients in her private practice in New York, where she lives with her husband, daughter, and daughters and dog. For more information, go to spiritgate.com. Okay, so since this was written, I'm now living in my RV. Like right now, I'm in the Arizona winter, which is nice and warm. And my dog's still here. Where's my dog? Come here, Annie. Come here. Come here. Say hi to the camera. Come say hi. Yep. Annie's still here. She's got some gray hair. She's about 15 years old now. She's still bipping along though. Yeah, you want to go back down? Okay, good. And yeah, and my daughters are all grown up and on with their own lives. So yeah, okay. So I hope you enjoyed this read, and most of all, I hope that it helps you. I hope when I wrote this book, what I wanted it to do was to have it be a quick read. Like, it took me a couple hours to read it out loud, but you could probably read it in less than an hour if you were just reading it quietly, just reading without talking. I wanted it to be something that could really help you, like an overview of what this whole thing's about. And then this book is not going to teach you how to heal your pet. It's really to give you the orientation
the courage and the context, so that when you do the Bengston Method, or when you do my octave resonance spinning, which is a video of that name on YouTube, and then you touch your pet. I mean, there's a little bit of description in here, but the main thing is to give you hope and context, so that you'll take that next baby step towards what you need to do to help your friend. Everything in this book works for people as well as animals. Okay, so I wrote it about pets because I felt like it was just simpler. I felt like they were likely to need a lot less treatments, and I wanted to get 100 cancer cures, and I felt like pets, that might be the way to do it. That might be how to do that. And I felt there's a privacy around a pet and their caretaker that is simpler than the family dynamics, which I felt were are really intense around humans. And I think that people grieve their animals and care about their animals just as much as their humans, but there's just more privacy around your pet. People kind of let you do what you want with your pets. So I felt like the forces for change, like if the paradigm for healing was ever going to change, that it would probably come from the lower and deeper forces, like just normal people with their sweet dogs and their cats, maybe their horses, me with my hamster. It feels like the ground swelling would happen that way. And yeah, so I hope you like this. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification, help me grow my channel so that I can get the word out. I think most dogs now die of cancer. It's like epidemic. It's epidemic. I think cats, it's a leading cause of death. And here's something that's been researched in animals to work. And, skeptical graduate students could do it. You don't even have to believe in it. You just have to do it. And it doesn't take long, like 1 or 2 private sessions to give you the confidence to do what you need to do. So it's not, I think it's affordable, it's time efficient, gives you a way to have quality time with your pet. It will likely reduce medication needs, which will lower your cost, and lower, the amount of interaction you need with your vet, because a lot of the end-of-life care and cancer care comes from adjusting medication if you just don't need as much because you're not that sick. It's very practical that way. And then, of course, you can use this method for other things, not just cancer. It's been researched with cancer, and I know how to really coach it well with cancer. But you can use it, for anything. Really, it's energy healing. It's a general thing. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Thank you for watching this video. This book is truly a labor of love. Hopefully you felt that as I read it and as you read it. Please subscribe to my channel. Like this video if you liked it. Hit that bell notification. I would love to hear your comments, to read your comments below the video. And if you do subscribe to my channel, there's a way that you can send me your email, and I'll give you a PDF on how to intensify your visualization processes, so that when you do the image cycling that is what's so famous for this method, that it will come alive. It will really come alive and it's not just like, okay, visualize it with your senses, see it, taste it, feel it, act as if it's done. It goes into the spiritual dimensions of visualization so that the images come to you. They aren't made up by your own ego. And there's this connection that happens between the forces that form and you. And it's really, and I like it a lot, and hopefully you'll like it. So subscribe and you can get that. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.